Hey guys, Applejack here, and today we're going to be reading Chapter 2 of Left Behind, The Moment, edited by Clavier. Rainbow Dash's hooves dug at the dirt road. She was hitched to the empty apple wagon as it was moving back to the orchard. She was giving herself a chance to get out of the market and have some time to think. Moving the unwieldy and heavy cart was hard work, but Rainbow Dash was making good time back to Applejack's farm. She was glad to be out of the square and to be doing something active. Things usually seemed to snap into focus for her when she was exercising, but even so, she couldn't quite wrap her head around the feelings in the square as she had pitched the Apple family apples. She had seen so many different ponies come up to Applejack and talk to her, make her smile, make her laugh, make her blush. Ugh, that feeling again, and that tightness in her chest. Rainbow Dash was baffled. Why was she feeling this way? Was she feeling the protective of one of her closest friends? Or was it something more? After she and Fluttershy had sold all the apples, she had quietly hitched herself to the wagon without Applejack noticing. She just wanted some time alone to figure this out. Rainbow! Oh, the voice far behind her. Rainbow Dash! Well, so much for time alone. She stopped the cart and craned her neck to see Applejack in full gallop, trying to catch up with her. It took very little time for the mare to catch her. Rainbow Dash may have been the fastest pony in the air, but Applejack could very well have been the fastest pony on land. Hiya, Applejack, muttered Rainbow Dash as the country pony trotted up to her. Rainbow, you didn't have to drag my wagon all this way for me, she said with a smile. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Well, it seemed like you were having such a good time hanging around the market. I didn't want to stop you. I was having a nice time, yes, she said, the smile still on her face. I have to say, when I looked over and the wagon was gone, I panicked for a second. I reckon you two had lost it somehow. She laughed, and Rainbow Dash could not help laughing herself, realizing how much happier Applejack seemed since their talk yesterday. Nope, I told you we'd do well. Every last apple sold. Fluttershy gave you the bits, right? She sure did, said Applejack, and a very heavy bag of bits at that. I never should have worried about you two running the cart. So, how was your time off? Asked Rainbow, starting to pull the cart again. Applejack walked alongside her. It was nice, not having to think about work and all. I didn't buy nothing, but it was great just to browse. Applejack hesitated before adding, with a blush, and I guess I was wrong the other day. I guess I do have some admirers. Rainbow Dash laughed at how sly she seemed on the subject. I know you do. I told you. You were totally 100% wrong. Rainbow Dash wasn't sure how she felt about it, though. Suddenly, she wished Applejack had been right. Rainbow Dash almost kicked herself for selfish thoughts, but something bit her bottom lip instead. So, she started trying to sound light and casual. Any dates lined up? Her friendly tone sounded forced, but Applejack did not notice. Nah, said Applejack. Rainbow's heart jumped with joy, contrary to her completely neutral face. I mean, a few asked, but it was too much to handle, all of them asking on the same day. There was an edge in her voice, making it seem as though she suspected Rainbow Dash had a hoof in her experience. Maybe next time I get some free time, I'll ask one of them out. Rainbow's heart dropped again, but she tried not to let it show. She bit her lip again. What in Equestria was going on with her feelings today? Wait, what am I doing? Applejack asked herself. Walking next to you while you carry my wagon? Get out of there and let me pull it the rest of the way. No way! I'm giving you time off from your work, remember? Rainbow, that was only for a while in the square. Come on, let me pull it back to the barn. Nuh-uh. Rainbow, come on, I had enough time off. That was probably your only off hour in the last month. Rainbow Dash, it was more than an hour. Get out of the harness right now. Make me, quipped Side Pony with a smile. Applejack's serious expression was quickly replaced by a sly one. Fine, she said, moving closer to Rainbow Dash. I seem to recall you telling me once you were very ticklish in one spot. Now, where was that again? She asked, knowing full well the answer. Applejack, don't you dare, begged Rainbow Dash, with the smile vanishing from her face. Oh yeah, now I remember. Under your wings. And with that, she pounced, reaching her hooves under Rainbow Dash's strong wings. At first, Rainbow Dash yelled protest, but soon she was howling with laughter. Her eyes were watering, and she was doing everything she could to get out of the harness to escape the country pony's attack. She managed to get out of it after a few seconds of struggling and flopped onto the ground, relieved to have escaped the assault. Applejack took this time to strap herself into the wagon. That's what I'm good for, Rainbow, said Applejack with a big smile on her face. Helping to pull the load. You gotta... She stopped when she met Rainbow Dash's eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? This was it. This was the moment Rainbow Dash would never forget for the rest of her life. Somehow, in the tussle, both Applejack's hat and her hair tie had fallen off her head, letting her mane flow freely. As Rainbow Dash lay on the ground looking up at Applejack, she realized that she had never seen it like this, and promptly decided that she had never observed anything quite so beautiful. The sun made Applejack seem to glow, and as Rainbow Dash looked up into her big green eyes, she had an epiphany. She was in love with Applejack. It was so obvious. How could she have missed it? All the time they spent together, all the teasing they did. What other pony was more admirable, more hard-working, more clever, and more honest than she was? Who else did Rainbow Dash have much fun with? Who else could keep up with her? Who else in Equestria was this beautiful? In other words, who could compare to Applejack in any way, shape, or form? No pony. No pony in the whole world. Rainbow Dash could hear her heart beating in her ears, and her chest felt 10 times as tight as it had been before. Applejack broke eye contact as she spotted her hair tie on the ground. "Oh, did my mane come undone? Is that why you're looking at me like that?" She said and blushed. "I must look awful bad." Rainbow Dash almost groaned. How in Equestria, thought the Pegasus, did she not know how sexy she looked right now? There was a big part of Rainbow Dash that just wanted to jump up and kiss her. What's the worst that could happen? Rainbow was willing to bet her life that she tasted like apples. "Applejack," said the silent pony carefully. She didn't know what to say. Should she tell her? Just come clean? Or would it ruin their friendship? Should she just ignore it? "What is it, Sugar Cube?" Applejack asked in a concerned voice, cocking her head slightly. The sun was shining through her blonde hair, making her look angelic. Rainbow Dash shook off these new feelings and stood up. "Nothing. I just realized something." Applejack looked on quizzically as Rainbow Dash walked over to the hat on the ground. She bit the brim of the hat and flipped it onto her head with as much skill as Applejack. I probably look pretty damn good in your hat." "Rainbow Dash, give me back my hat," said Applejack in a low voice, a small smile on her face. "Whoa, you think you can just attack me and get away with it? No way! I think I'll be holding on to this for a while." "Don't make me come over there again." "Think you can catch me strapped to that wagon?" Rainbow Dash laughed as she started a gentle trot towards Applejack's house. "I don't think so." "Oh, no, you don't," yelled the country pony, and started pulling the wagon at a surprisingly fast pace. Rainbow Dash had to switch to a full gallop. She almost laughed at how easily Applejack pulled the heavy cart. Okay, said the silent pony, turning her head to look at Applejack as she ran. "I'll give it back to you if you admit I look better in your hat than you do." "What?" said Applejack with a laugh. "Never." "I guess I'm keeping it then. Get back here." The pair ran into the Apple family barn, teasing each other and laughing the whole way. Once they got inside, Applejack ripped herself out of the harness and jumped on Rainbow Dash, tackling her into a pile of hay. Applejack bit the rim of the hat, flipped it in the air, and smiled down at Rainbow Dash as it landed perfectly on her head. "Let this be a lesson to you, Rainbow. Ain't no pony in Equestria looks as good in my hat as I do." Her smile was crooked, and her eyes had laughter in them. "Well," thought Rainbow Dash, looking up at her for the hay, "can't argue with that." She couldn't help it. She was so close. Rainbow Dash was a pony of action. She just had to do it. So she quickly leaned up and kissed Applejack, just like she thought. Apples. The kiss lingered for a few seconds. Rainbow Dash never wanted it to end. That was not one sentence. She knew that once it was over, they would have to deal with the consequences. Who knew how Applejack felt? For those moments, Rainbow Dash was in heaven. She had kissed mares before, sure, but she knew this was different. This confirmed it. She was totally, completely in love. And it was awesome. But as she let the kiss go, it became clear to Rainbow Dash that Applejack did not feel the same way. A look of absolute horror was frozen on her face. "Rainbow, what are you doing?" Applejack quietly backing her slowly. Rainbow Dash felt her heart drop 1,000 feet. I just... this couldn't be happening. Worst case scenario. I wanted to... Was there any way to explain it away? Of course not. Suddenly, what she did hit her like sprit. Stupid! Why did you kiss her? Applejack, She reached a hoof out, but Applejack looked at it so strangely that she quickly recoiled it. I'm sorry. I didn't know why I did that. I'm so... What was she doing? All these weird emotions were bubbling inside of her. She was so in love with Applejack, so mad she didn't feel the way, and so stupid for thinking that she would. Would their friendship ever be the same? It might not be. Rainbow Dash might have just thrown away her best friend. I've got to... Rainbow Dash stammered, but she was incapable of finishing any sentences. She felt tears welling up in her eyes. I'm so sorry, Applejack. she left out of the hay and ran for the door. Pushing open the door with her she pushed open her wings and suddenly was flying anywhere else in the world that was other than the barn with Applejack. Applejack watched as the blur of color shot off towards the mountains, too shocked to even know what to think. And then the author's note. So, that was chapter 2, guys. Nice. Not as long as the last video, which did get cut off. I'm a little sad about that. But hopefully today, you might notice there actually is a picture in the background. Yes, I know. Amazing, right? That's because I'm trying out Windows Movie Maker, and if it sounds pretty good, I'm probably going to stick with it, and plus, I can add pictures to it. So, there's that. I will add the link to the video, probably in the credits, so there's that gold. And yes, I did get permission from the author to do this story. So, yeah, that's that, and see you guys next time. Peace.